I'm waiting for the church bells to come. Oh, I missed it, right? 12 o'clock. Okay. In yesterday's talks at 6 o'clock here in Montreal, there were church bells. So I talked about the infinite ringing of boundless freedom. So what's being expressed apparently today is this dance, this dance of wholeness to an orchestra of boundless freedom. Um, the dance of wholeness that seems separate, this intricate, exquisite dance that does not have a partner. It's a dance of aloneness into all oneness. It could cha-cha into chaos. It could waltz into melancholy. It could tango into confusion. It could pirouette into madness. It can rave into ecstasy. But it's a dance of no one. No one's in the dance. Just this dance that seems to be empty. So in this apparent dance, there is this confusion, there's this clarity, there's this bewilderment, there's this wowness, wholeness, and all of this dance is just really an illusion. But it's also empty. It's an empty illusion dance that seems to be dancing with itself, but it's not really dancing with others. Seemingly, there's this appearance that this is a formless dance. There's this directness of what's occurring. It's just this dance, a dance into an idea of what this should be, what could this be, how can I get this, how will I get there? But there's nothing wrong or right about this dance. It's just a dance. No one needs to know the steps because it's dancing automatically. It's dancing all at once. And it's just this wow, that this dance of separation is not really separate, but it's just an interpretation of what wholeness is. So this wholeness is dancing, expressing as you and I, this or that, clarity or confusion, awakeness or bondage. But when there's only one dance, we don't even want to call it one dance, it's this whole dance. There's no opposite to this dance. There's no others in this dance. It's just this wow, wow, wow. The seeming separateness that's appearing, the light, the dark, the labels, all these words swirling into nothing. When the dance appears, it disappears. When this communication is heard, it's unheard. So what's being expressed here is the what if this dance is here for eternity? What if this dance of separation is what infinity is? But we just seem to have these labels of this dance or this apparent appearance of what is and what is not. There's this seeming understanding or misunderstanding of what's occurring. So what's being expressed here is this dance of aloneness, of perception, is actually wholeness or oneness. There's no difference from aloneness and oneness because there's no one here. So in this swirling dance, kind of like I don't know if you've seen the Sufis dancing, with their whirling Sufis and everything, dancing into this exquisite aliveness. Well, if it's just a dance, why not party? In this party, there's just this dancers that are thinking that they're separate, but really it's just a whole thing. The whole is dancing. And it's just, I was eating this chocolate earlier today. that Michelle brought. Thank you, Michelle. This chocolate had wildflowers in it. And dark chocolate with wildflowers and all of this beautiful taste. There's this chocolate, bitter, the sweet, and then the wildness of the wildflowers. I can't even tell what that is. So that's like a dance of flavors. Appearing and disappearing. I can remember it, but it's no longer here. I can say it in words. It's kind of like this emptiness. This emptiness can feel really full and nothing. It could be a feeling of, I'm not liberated, to, oh wow, this is really freeing. It appears and disappears. Or kind of like an idea of what this is or what is missing. This is complete. There's something lacking. Some days I feel that there's this wowness, someone will tell me. And then the moment that this apparent meeting stops, there's this contraction. That chocolate is just one bar, but that one bar has a whole bunch of tastes in it. It has the sweetness, the bitterness, and then the wildflower in it. That's wholeness. That's wholeness. The strawberry that I ate earlier, just this wow, beautiful taste. So all of this wowness that's appearing is a dance of taste, smells, ideas, emotions, and everything. It's the beautiful expression of nothing expressing as everything. It's a beautiful expression of emptiness, expression as this fullness, whatever it seems like. And then this dance, when there is I don't know if you've ever been to a high school dance and you're just a wallflower. You're kind of like, you're just standing there kind of like watching everybody dancing. You're comparing, oh, that's a prom queen or a prom king or whatever. They're really popular and I'm here kind of like sitting. That's also a dance. That's also part of the wholeness. The whole prom is the dance. The idea of separation is also the dance. The idea of completeness is also a dance. So there's nothing separate from the dance is what's being expressed here. There's nothing separate from emptiness. There's nothing separate from boundless freedom. It's all freedom. So it doesn't matter if it's bitter tasting or sweet tasting or a flavor that you don't like. It doesn't matter if it's a tango or a cha-cha or a salsa or a merengue. It doesn't matter what seems to be happening or even a rejection of that. Since everything is dancing, all of this wildness, this chaos, this anarchy dancing into this emptiness. I'm thinking about the chocolate right now. I should get some more. Thank you. So this aliveness that's appearing is always present. It's never ever gone. This dance that's appearing is eternity dancing by itself. This dance that's appearing, it could be left or right, it could be, positions and everything. It's still a dance. It could be an argument. It's a dance. When it's seen that it's a dance and there's no dancers in it, there's a fullness that's seen in this apparent life. Wars become, it's just what's happening. Even the dance to be able to kind of like join the war or fight against it or something is a dance. Kind of like a dream. A dream comes into this frenzy, real feeling that feels absolutely real. But once that there is this seeing that there is nothing happening, it's just seen as a dance. A chocolate bar that tasted really, really good. And then it's gone. So if you'd like to dance and talk about this, this is the first session of 3 sessions today. Please go ahead if you have any questions. We'll talk about nothing and everything. If you just want to comment, if you just want to dance. This character used to be a hip-hop dancer. And he used to DJ and he used to break dance. So if you want to break dance with me, please go ahead. Oops.
Hi, Emerson. It's Fritz.
Are you all right there? Okay, I'm gonna put on my glasses. Okay, there we go. Is a prison cell complete freedom? There's really no prison. If there is no one, what's being meant is that when it's seen clearly that this is just the immediacy, there are no prison cells. When it's seen that there is not a situation, no before or after, everything is just as it is. So when a prison cell kind of like comes or whatever, whatever happens is just what's happening. So some there's a lot of people actually, from what I heard, this is just a story, that seems to find liberation in prison cells. You've heard that too, right? Michelle, yeah? Yeah. There seems to be a lot. There's books actually that was written by some of them. I don't know which ones they are, but they somehow find liberation in what seems to be bondage, because what's seen is when there's no one, everything disappears. The feeling that I did something wrong, that I'm in a prison cell, and it just becomes a dance. Thank you. Thank you, Kane. If you want to add more, please go ahead. Hello, Emerson. You goes. Can you please say something about blanking out on hearing this message? You said something about it yesterday, but I think I blanked out when it was said. Thanks. Is it avoidance on the part of the character? If you want to add to that, it's just a story as well. So what usually happens when there is seemingly a blackout, in there's something resonating that is not really understood. So it's emptiness, hearing emptiness. So it's not really hearing any words. It's just seeing its apparent nature, which is empty. So when there's a resonance sometimes, and there's a relaxation, there's seemingly a blackout. Kind of like when someone is, there was someone that was listening to this and called me right away because they were binging this communication. So what they did basically is they listened to a tape, not a tape, sorry, a playlist of the talks of this character. So it drove for 6 hours, and then it got home and frantically messaged me right away and said, I don't know if this is good, Emerson, but I just drove for 6 hours. I don't know how I got home. And this is just a story, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how I got home. I see in the car that I ate something. I see in the, that I got home. And I said, well, I guess you're safe. You're calling me, right? But seemingly what happens is, it's kind of like when you're dreaming at night. You're dreaming and then it goes deep sleep. And then you dream again. Have you had that dream? When there's this really, really kind of like dream, and then you kind of like momentarily either waking up or not, and there's this just blankness. So what's being expressed actually, that this dance is so intricate, exquisite, that actually it doesn't move. It's stillness. So stillness is dancing. So deep sleep is dreaming. But they're not opposites, right? What's being expressed here does not have any opposites. It doesn't have any other. There's no other. So it's just dancing, but seemingly we have this communication here, languaging, that we tend to express things through labels and words. So dancing, stillness. If you take out all the words, or what if there's no thinking? It's just stillness. But since there's this thinking that's dancing with this stillness, what's being expressed here, that dancing, thoughts, ideas, chatter, is also stillness. There's no difference. There's just this dream of separation, or this illusion of realness, of reality. In that illusion of reality, there seems to be an of subject object, a you and I, a happening, a non-happening, a dancer, a partner, all that kind of stuff. But if you want to add more to that, or I'm not sure if you're blanked out right now or not, so please say
Well,
something.
that's fine. Thanks, Emerson. Yeah, no, it's a pleasant experience. I just, yeah, thanks for answering that. That's
Yeah,
very,
thank you. Thank you. Usually, some people call it resonance and they don't really know what happened. They'll go to a meeting, or they'll listen to one of these talks, and when it's getting expressed that there is just this boundless freedom and that there's no you to get it because there's no you in freedom. Because the moment that there is an attachment or personalization of what freedom is, it becomes a version of what freedom is. So what's being expressed here is that um, just the directness of this, just these words coming out, these words that are completely gibberish and meaningless and purposeless, because it's silent, really. Just this movement appearing in this stillness, in this apparent dreaming in deep sleep, in this apparent colors and brilliance and radiance in blackout. Or you can also say that this is all just blankness. And this blankness, what seems to appear is this vibrancy, this radiance, this talk, this movement, this sound, sight, smell, everything that's appearing, this bombastic appearance, this big bang that never really happened. And it's just what is, yeah. So in this directness again of communication, there's no one here. And then the idea, the dance of the illusory dance, kind of like, well, I'm here, it's not really true. There's no one here. There's no one in Montreal. There's no one in Zoom. In this directness, in this all at onceness, what if there were no thinkings or there were no thinkers? What if this is all deep sleep? And in this deep sleep, there's this aliveness that's appearing without any interpretation. This is just emptiness. This is nothing. Because if there's no thought, there's nothing. If there's just silence, then there's nothing. So that's what's being expressed here. It's just this all at onceness, this all oneness. I don't really like using the word oneness, but I like all oneness. It's from aloneness to all oneness. So aloneness is the same as all oneness. Alone is the idea, all oneness. There seems to be a personalization sometimes when, I am oneness, I am this. Nothing wrong or right about that. It's just what is.
So it's no, okay. So it's only what is happening, and there's absolutely nothing to wait about. So, and that's simple. I mean, it seems simple, yeah. But it's like how can I say that? Even though there's there seems to be a kind of purpose,
Yeah.
so that fall down too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
so but when it's only what seems to happen, but something change too, because I don't say the same thing that 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it seems to have a sense, that, but there's no sense.
No, no. There was no 5 years ago.
There was no 5 years ago. But yeah, it's okay. That's only what I want to say. Thanks.
Thank you so much. Yes, what seems to happen is that there's nothing happening, but there's this persistent illusion or this vibrant, radiant dance that there's something happening. It includes thoughts about 5 years ago. It includes memories, about, but this dance is not real. It's a play. It's an illusion, right? So everything that seems to be happening, it dances into the past. It dances into the future. It dances into the now. It dances into existence. It dances into memories. It dances into ideas. It dances into feeling, sensation. But it's just this formless dancing into this apparent different locations. But this is locationless, right? Yeah. So this dance is just actually, think of it as just a dance with a different angle. It's the same wholeness that doesn't really have any sides even. It's just wholeness dancing into 5 years ago. Wholeness dancing into now. There's no meaning or purpose. So all of these ideas are just this illusory play. It's just a play, and it's beautiful play. It's a beautiful play. It's kind of like this brilliant, uncreated virtual reality that is separation, the dance of separation. But the one that's doing the dance of separation is wholeness itself. Yeah. Ta-da!
Hi, Emerson. In your introduction, I'm still touched by what you said in your introduction. Like, the real and unreal, and I lost the word you said. What was it? When talking about, I had this word and I don't remember now. Oh God. But it meant, it was the same as real and unreal. Like, it's the boom. Oh yes, it's the appearance and the disappearance at the same time, So it's immediate, like this, and this is so amazing. And what I want to say is that, different speakers, they talk about it, but sometimes they oh, sorry, I have to blow my nose. Sorry. Oh God. Okay, this is what's happening. Oh yeah, and speakers, different speakers are speaking about it, and sometimes with words, the me, the apparent me is like putting a meaning on words, and then it makes like another concept waiting for something to happen in the future. But there's no such thing. It's like you said, really immediate. It's like everything is appearing and disappearing at the same time. It blows my mind away. It's like boom all the time, boom, 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 boom. And I really like the way you speak about it. I really do, because you use different words, and we can't like really put meaning or even purpose on all this. And I love you, Emerson. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. There seems to be just words, you know what I'm saying? Because words are just very they're all really gibberish, right? So why not have fun with it? And there seems to be a stuckness sometimes with words that are being used all the time. So I can even change the word dance into singing, playing. It's the same thing. Illusion, play, in stillness, emptiness, nothingness, and then you can call the everythingness as dance, play, whatever. It's just, so it's emptiness dancing, nothingness singing, deep sleep dreaming. But it's not separate. You see, it's all at once. It's all the same. Thank you. Hey, you.
Oh, hi, Emerson. Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, great. Yes, I've been watching you for a few months now. It's the first session when I've spoken to you. I wanted to
Yes.
ask, see if I've got this right. So thoughts can only really occur in this illusory time. And picking up on this idea of everything appearing and disappearing simultaneously, and each appearance doesn't so much contain a thought of the past. It contains, say, a seed or something that could cause the character to have a thought. Is that?
There's no seed really, right? Because there's no history. History
Right.
is just another idea. Time, or memory is just it. There's no memories. There's no history. There's no before this. This is just. David actually said really great, all at onceness. This is the all at onceness, and this all at onceness that's appearing, ideas about history, ideas about a seed, ideas about this apparent conditioning, ideas about what seems to be appearing simultaneously is the past, history, present, future, everything. So there's nothing other than this. So in essence, this communication is in every single opportunity is to see that this is boundless freedom, that this is the boundless express. It doesn't get anywhere. It's always this. It's always this boundless freedom. But the train of thought of this is an origin, something kind of like goes the opposite direction, and it's a train wreck because it goes into this illusory route that I'm going to get somewhere from this. That I've been listening to you for months now. So the directness of what's being expressed is this is done because it never begun, and you're in it and you're not it. That this is always this boundless freedom appearing as whatever, appearing as you talking about, dancing about this idea of everythingness, appearing, disappearing. These are just words in trying to describe the all at onceness. Thank you, David. Or all the disappearing, appearing at the same time that cannot really be really thought about. It's almost the collapse of this idea. Like, well, that's not possible. Because the
Right.
thinking can basically functions this way from here to there. It has a linearity to it. The understanding has to come from, because thinking only happens in time. So if we go back again, I think if you've been listening to this, there is no time.
So time is an illusion, and we're trying to use thought in an illusion to get to the bottom of it.
That's right.
It's never going to
The
work.
illusion is trying to figure out the illusion, but it can only come up with an illusion. So everything that the illusory time keeper or the time traveler, there's no such thing, that thinks that it can go from here to there is basically a fantasy. Because it's already this. This is already immediately complete. This is automatically it. even that wording, it's seemingly that there is time, because you can't really think what automatically is. But this all at once, this directness of what's being expressed here, is already complete. So there's nowhere to go.
Not much I can say after that, really. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Emerson.
Thank you. Thank you, you. Oh, hi, Ghislaine.
Hi, Emerson, just for the fun of it, you know.
Yeah. Please.
Mm, There's no one who's talking at this moment.
No, there's no moment even.
No, and
Yeah.
there's nothing. All, but we cannot say that, but we are nothing. The nothingness that is totally crazy as appearing.
Appearing or apparition,
Oh,
yeah.
appearing. Sorry.
Appearance, yeah.
As everything that's so crazy.
It is, yeah. It
Yeah.
is. There's not a source, right? So there's no source, so
No,
there's no becoming. Everything
no,
is just appearing as this. Nothing
yeah,
appearing as everything. The stillness dancing, this fullness, this questions, this answers. But really when it's a dance that doesn't have a partner, it's just
mm,
emptiness dancing. It's this fullness. It's
yeah,
crazy, I know. It's this wild. It's wild.
it is.
Yeah.
The most crazy thing, the less crazy thing, everything is this, but
Yeah.
not this, you know.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
can even be just sick and tired of apparently being somebody, you know.
Oh yeah. It
It's so
can appear as everything. Yeah.
crazy.
It can
Yeah,
appear as absolutely everything. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And taking itself seriously, you know.
Yeah. So even these talks, right? These talks, it's kind of funny. When
Yeah.
earlier today, because I was home alone, dancing in this beautiful place, I was just dancing, like sliding back and forth. There's just this enjoyment, and I forgot that there's no music playing. I did. I didn't
You
have any
had
music
music in
playing.
your head.
No, I didn't have my headphones on. I was just like dancing. I'm like, oh, it's just dancing by itself.
Yeah.
Yesterday, you know what? When I started my talk, I was hearing the bells. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so this apparent memory, you know what I'm saying, that came from dancing this morning, that became the talk. Although there's no one, there's no early morning or there's no yesterday. So seemingly all of this talking is appearing, which is really nothing, coming out from nothing, which is the yesterday or today or the bells of the church. There's no bells of the church, there's no nothing. And this directness and this all at onceness, it's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing.
When you talk about the bell, I was thinking about the funeral bell.
Oh,
Uh,
it's the
because,
same
you know,
thing.
on the Friday, you know.
Somehow, you know what? When I play piano, I'm obsessed with the funeral march with Chopin.
Oh,
And if you listen to my video,
I
I
did.
didn't play it. I was like, "What's this piece? I don't know what it's called." And then I'm like, "Oh, it's a funeral march."
It's not the wedding,
Dun,
not
dun,
the
dun,
wedding
dun,
one.
dun, dun, dun,
Da,
dun,
da, da,
dun,
da.
dun. It's beautiful because it starts really somber. It was very somber and then it goes into this aliveness, this beautiful aliveness, which is death.
Yeah. You know, there is not one individual who created anything. It's all creation itself
It's uncreated, actually.
Yeah,
It's
there's no one
uncreated.
that can, if you have the good, we cannot talk about that, okay? But
No.
if an apparent someone just so proud of being the author of something is not,
No.
it's all the life, all of it, and nothing of it is
Yeah.
creating this thing.
Yeah, it's just in this apparent explosion of everything. There, sometimes when there's this identification that I am, it gets caught up. It gets caught up in the minute things that. But when
Yeah.
it's when that getting caught up drops, when the identification that I am doing this, that I have control of this, when the chaos drops into the stillness, when chaos is also stillness, then it's seen that, oh wow, there's this dance that's apparent,
Yeah.
that's apparently happening for no one. There's this play of light. There's this cacophony of noises, and there's this all of this all at once. It's kind of like, wow, it's
When
beautiful.
people
But
say,
also,
I
it's also the
should,
same as deep sleep, meaning that there's no difference between deep sleep and this. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. Or even when you dream, you cannot control what is gonna happen,
No.
And in life, people are all the time, I should have done this. Why don't I do this or that? You don't know anything. There is no individual capable of creating something limited to itself. It's big washing machine.
I like that. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. And apparently there's people who talks about that.
Yeah, that's right. Apparently,
Yeah.
there's this communication about something that cannot be communicated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
fascinating.
lots of fun. Thank you very much
Thank you,
for all.
Gillian.
Thank
you,
you.
Gillian.
Hi, Emerson.
Oh, hi. Hello.
This is Fritz.
Oh, hi, Fritz.
So
How are you?
I'm okay. This is the first time I've spoken with you. So
Oh,
hi.
hello.
Good to
Hello.
meet you. I'm
Fritz from
curious.
Laguna Beach,
No, Los Angeles, but
Los Angeles.
close.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, same neighborhood, basically.
okay.
So I'm curious about how you came to all this, and I'm not looking for a lengthy thing, but just kind of to get an idea of
Yeah,
how you came to this.
I'll summarize it. First, there was a teacher, a spiritual teacher, that had an apparent awakening, and then that awakening was it was maintained, maintaining it, kind of like through practices, purity, eating nothing but fruits that fell off a tree, trying to be holy, trying to forgive, all that kind of stuff. It was coming from a teaching, but since that was being held on to, it was temporal, right? Because it was something that was maintained, meditating 4 hours a day. So it encountered this radical communication, and it was really resonating, kind of like this character blanked out, right? Because there was being said that there's no one here, but it was also resisting it because it's invested in the identity of this character, that I have a history, I have a legacy, I have a path, a purpose, a meaning, all that kind of stuff. One unceremonious afternoon, when it was sick of seeking, it was just DJing, and all of a sudden what was always obvious was seen, but not by someone, but the obviousness that the one that's playing the music is no one, meaning that there's no one that's ever doing anything. So there's almost a glitch in the apparent system, and then that glitch, what was seen is that this never existed, and then no one else exists. In this apparent apparition of time and space, there's no one here. So everything that it perceives, including time and space, including reality, is completely vanished, right? It's kind of like it's like a house of cards that once you pull, one, it all collapses, right? So since there's no one, there's no time, there's no space, there's no others, there's no reality, there's no truth, there's no false, there's no you, there's no me. And apparently it's speaking about that. The obviousness of it, using languages like dancing. This is just dancing. This is just emptiness dancing, but no one's dancing. And talking about something that cannot really be fully comprehended and understood because there's no one that can understand this. Because this is the naturalness. That's even saying too much. This is the all at onceness of I exist and I don't exist. There's no self. I am a self. All that kind of stuff. Meaning that all of it is meaningless, and there's just this radiance, this aliveness that is immediate. That is this. This is the boundless freedom, which is the title of the event. And it's just being expressed here, that there's just boundless freedom. Whatever seemed to appear, it could be constipation. That's boundless freedom. It could be a sneeze. Because freedom is not personalized, right? Freedom appears as everything. Freedom appears as a chocolate with wildflowers on it. That's really beautifully tasty. Freedom appears as something stepping on a Lego block and screaming at your kid or something, or in this case, my nephew. Why did you leave all the Lego blocks on the floor? That's freedom. And what's being expressed here is not the spiritual, religious kind of freedom that everybody seems to want. This is not wanted. This is a really rare communication. So what the freedom that everybody wanted, I had that as a spiritual teacher, and I maintained it. And it was so much suffering maintaining that. Trying to put on a facade, a face, you know what I'm saying? That everything is okay. There's this gladness here that it can whatever happens because there's no one here that's maintaining it anymore. So the character is completely free to step into the other night I stepped into a place that it was a private party. I thought I could go dancing there. But I was really crashing, kind of like this club. And I had 5 minutes to get out. That's freedom. Not being concerned that you're a spiritual teacher, that you can't be caught up in those places. So whatever happens is what's happening. There's no limitations. So this is unlimited freedom, unlimited love. It doesn't have any limitations. And there's no holiness, there's no spirituality, because those are just ideas as well. So this is the directness of whatever is occurring, and seeing that everything is already free, even if they're pretending not to be free, even if they're asking questions on how to be free. It's seen that, that's freedom there, asking a question about freedom. And the freedom here is answering the question about freedom. Although it's seen it's already free, although it pretends that it's not free, it sees freedom in everything. That's why there's this radiance, this aliveness, or whatever seems to appear. That's a long answer, sorry. Fritz.
Okay, well, you were on a roll,
Probably, yeah.
So I mean, my interest in this started kind of by accident.
Yeah.
I kind of stumbled into a situation where a temporary awakening happened.
Yes.
For about 2 weeks, and this was decades ago. But
yes.
But it also struck me as being the most real thing I'd ever encountered. So that's why the interest has maintained itself somehow.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it unfolds.
Yeah. That seems to be what usually occurs, with a parent, in the story anyway. There's some seemingly there's glimpses that happen, and there's a chasing of that glimpse. Sometimes they become spiritual teachers, and then they let people kiss their feet. Sometimes, in that, in that kind of like it's just what's happening. Sometimes there's a further seeking into what seems to be happening, but none of that actually happened. This is the only. This is it. There's nothing outside of this. So seeking something in time only leads to an illusory find in time, which can be frustrating. And then the illusion of time is just this never-ending loop of time that seems to appear in timelessness. So this is the final destination, Fritz. This is boundless freedom already. It's no accident and an accident at the same time. As
That
it
was-
is.
That was one of the things that, sorry to kind of break in there, timing is tricky. That was one of the things that showed up during the initial experience, if you want to call it
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That this had always been here,
Yes.
but just hadn't been noticed or hadn't been discovered, or I don't know what, but something along that line.
Yeah. Without thinking, did that really happen?
There's the memory of it for sure.
Without memory, did it really happen? Without memory, is this not the same as that? That's what I'm trying to express here. So it's always this way without memory or thoughts. The memory is the obstacle or the illusion or the dance that seems to obscure what this is. It's always this aliveness, this stillness. Hooray!
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Emerson, talking about, is it okay? Talking about memories, but if a memory comes, it appears and it disappears.
Yeah.
So it's the same with everything. So thoughts is the same, everything, it appears and disappears. So even with memories, and we can, I guess, well, maybe this is a story. We can see that. That it appears and disappears. But even, there's no memory. Okay.
Oops. Oh, that's my fake glasses. Sorry. That's okay. Yes, what seems to appear and disappear is just this dance, right? That seems to happen. It's the fullness of nothing, the empty fullness, right? The seemingly kind of like illusory idea that memory happens and everything, but there's no time. So how could it appear? So I think I was talking with David, or I'm not sure who it was yesterday about this. The appearance stepping back and just seeing that everything's just happening by itself, without memory, without time. So this dance is just this appearance of this apparent whirling, kind of like, or wildness, seemingly, kind of like, I had this idea, and it's just this train wreck of a train of thought that keeps on going. I have this memory, so it's just this running show that's just not even real. But the belief in it is also the illusion, is also what appears. So there's a memory that appears and a belief that appears, and then there's this, well, that's my truth. So there's almost kind of like a sureness to it. But all of that is empty. There's no such thing as beliefs. There's no such thing as memory. When the labels are taking off, it's just what's occurring. So in the directness of what's being expressed here is that this is the infinite expression of infinity expressing as contracted time, finite. This is the infinity expressing as whatever. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Carol. I'm not going to... Sorry, Milena.
But if you have a question, you do?
We're serving beer here. I'm just joking.
Also green tea.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Okay. I guess I wanted to say just before that why it is keeping listen to this even there's no choice. I know there's I don't know, but it seems that there's no choice. And it's keeping listen to this and reading about this and again and again and again and again is it's because there's still a seeker or some kind of seeking, or even if there's no there is no choice. But that's the loop, okay? If I stop everything,
You're still in the loop if you stop.
yeah, that's it. I'm still in the loop. Yeah. So there's no escaping about absolute, you know. So, well, it's energetic. Yeah. Energetic. So, well, it's okay. That's great. All right. Okay.
Hooray! What seems to happen is this, there's this just, this infinite loop of seeking or not seeking, and, there's no one doing it, right? So it doesn't matter if you try to stop it. It's still going in that loop because there is this energetic, the boundless energy is trapped in a loop.
Okay.
In the apparent illusion. It's trapped in a dance. Trapped in a dance of cha-cha. It's going back and forth. I'm not seeking anymore. Oh, I'm still seeking. I'm seeking, It's just going back and forth into this dance, right? But it's actually just stillness. So it doesn't really matter if you're seeking or not, because there's no you that's seeking or not. It's just happening. So when there is, this is not an instruction, but David and I were talking about that. When there was this stepping back, you're like, it's just a dance. I'm not doing the dance. It's just dancing by itself. So there's no one choosing, and there's no one trying not to, right? The frustration comes is when you're trying to control the dance, when you're trying to choreograph it. You're trying to, because the trying, it's like swimming upstream of a river that's flowing. So what if it's seeking? So what if it's not seeking? It's just what's happening, because there's really no one there. There's a lot of people that listens to this communication and basically they're not really seeking anymore. They're just there to kind of like, they just like listening to something that is nonfiction.
Just reading books is the same.
It's the same, yeah.
Non-fiction, you said?
Non-fiction, yeah.
Non-fiction.
Yeah, everything is fictional, and sometimes when listening to this, it's like,
Oh,
yeah. Although non-fiction and fiction is still a story.
Okay.
Yeah. Brilliant. Even the word "this" is a label and tries to box what can't be spoken of. That's true. Every single word is a label in trying to express something that is nameless, that is wordless. Even saying nameless or wordless is another label. So it never gets out of it. Even, everything is a story. And even when someone says that this is not a story, that's still a story. Or someone says that this is the end of the story, that's still a story. So it can't really get out of the story because the story maintains the story. It's a maintenance of the story that this is really happening. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just what's happening.
So the story appears and disappears.
So the story appears and disappears, kind of like, when you're turning pages in a book, the letters come in and out, and it seems to be read, but no one's reading it. So there's no reader, there's nothing being read. Yeah.
Il y a personne pour les lire.
Thank you, Emerson, for the simplicity. Yes, this is just a really simple communication. The reason that there's this different words being used is to express how simple it is, that it's interchangeable, that there's really no definition to this. It's expressing the lucidity and the fluidity of what's happening, that there's really no destination. It can't arrive at anywhere. It could be frustration. It could be kind of like, some people would be like, I got it, kind of like what Fritz was saying, for 2 weeks, and now I don't have it or something. That's why I'm listening to this. See, that's just an idea. Everything is always this. So even when it's feeling that it's not this, it's always this. Whatever is being expressed here. It's always this dance of, I'm not clear anymore, or I'm embarrassed. You know what I'm saying? I was really clear before, now I'm not clear anymore. No, everything is clarity happening. Appearing as unclarity. It's just an appearance, just this dance. There's nothing that's doing any of this. There's nothing it's a runaway train. It doesn't have any stops. Sometimes it's disastrous. Sometimes it's like, oh, look at the mountains, beautiful. But it's a runaway train. It's completely free to be whatever. It doesn't have a destination. For people that were not here yesterday, that was what's being talked about. There's this runaway train. Boundless Freedom Express.
If we buy a ticket, it's too late.
Yes. Hey, Steve.
Hi, Emerson. I have to share this because
Yeah, sure.
you brought up the train thing again, and I want to express the way in which trains could be free that you might not have thought of. In the 1970s, probably around 1975, before the Chessie System Railroad was computerized, and I was there when they started to computerize it. I was working as an agent operator.
Oh, wow.
An agent operator takes waybills that are on the boxcar for the boxcars and hands them to the conductor.
Oh.
Each waybill has all the products that are on the particular boxcar. So I was at a particular station, and an experienced guy there was showing me the ropes because I was just a temp, and I would substitute for people who were out in these various stations in Virginia. So usually the train would stop, but sometimes they would go straight through.
Oh, wow.
If a train was going straight through by the station, a little almost like a cottage with an office in it, the gentleman there, without saying anything to me, would run around the back of the station if a train were coming straight through.
Oh, wow. A runaway train.
So I said, no. I said, why are you running to the back of the station when these trains come through without stopping? He said, well, I reported a problem with the track and it still hasn't been fixed. And I figure if the train is going to fly, I might have a little bit of protection from the station.
Oh, wow.
So trains can fly too.
Yes. Exactly. Boundless Freedom Express can fly.
Totally. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. That was fun. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that comment. If I was a teacher, I would probably post that as a testimonial, but can I put that on my website in big fonts? When I was a teacher, I used to get people to do video testimonials because the written was not enough. I know. No, but there's no ultimate radical non-duality speaker. No, that's just another idea because there's not even anyone here. And there are no others. There are no other speakers. That's just in the realm of this play, right? That there's separation, that there's others. Yeah. So there are no others. It's just a story.
It's an appearance disappearing.
Oh, thank you, Tanya. Thank you. There's another testimonial there from Tanya. Emerson, since it's publicly shared, I'll read it. Emerson, this environment really suits you. These 3 sessions have truly been magical. I love you. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you.
Thank you.
We all support this testimonial. Let's make a video.
Emerson, can you talk about your previous purpose? Ooh, there's no purpose, but this character was really into spirituality and was into a lot of stories. Let's just say, and then when there was a seeing that there's just this wholeness happening, it made it into a story right away. And in that storytelling, it basically said that this seeing, this awakening, or this enlightenment, which was really blissful, was made into a story that I found my purpose. My purpose is to help others. And I can teach you to help others as well. And that's my purpose in life. So there was this, there was this maintenance of this, I became a spokesperson for this finding your purpose thing. And it was really blissful. You know what I'm saying? There's this, the teacher, the spiritual teacher, was teaching meditation and liberation, and by helping others. So there was this earnestness in what was being done. It would go to the streets and hand out sandwiches, teach meditation, but because this purpose is temporary, it's a story. The whole started showing through. I'm like, well, what? It's almost kind of like trying to give people purpose when the purpose here didn't even feel true anymore. And especially when it encountered this communication. And what's being said in some of the books that there are no others, that there are not even books, sorry, in this communication, that there are no others, that, like, who am I helping then? And especially the apparent characters that was being helped was going into their own turmoil. So all my techniques, all of the things that I was teaching them was not working. all of the workshops that I did with, like, finding your inner child and healing it, was not working. All of the, and I'm going to say this, unfortunately, all of the practices that I did with A Course in Miracles was not really helping. It was just keeping the character in the story. And all of that awareness, consciousness exercises that I was doing was keeping the character in a loop of seeking. So what was happening, that it was thinking that it was dancing, that it was choreographing, it was teaching the dance. The dance is free, it's wild, it can't be thought. So it thought it figured out the dance, and then, but when the dance was just dancing by itself, it thought that it was not, it was a misstep. So what seemingly happened is when the purpose was seen as empty, it felt like a big fraud, and started telling people that it was a fraud, and of course it started spiraling around. To make a long story short, none of that happened. So since nothing is happening, how can there be a purpose? How can there be meaning? How can there be teaching? How can you teach nothing is happening? How? So what's seen now is this immediacy, this directness of this radical expression of nothingness, appearing as these words of emptiness, expressing that everything is empty and there's nothing separate. So even that story of dance, of purpose and meaning and everything is also empty. There's nothing wrong or right about it, but it's just a story. Like this. This is the uncreated, the untold, that's being told in a story. So there's a creating happening, but there's no creator. There's a creating of these words and everything, but none of this is true. Ghislaine.
Hello. The thing with this is it's funny that disappearing is everything come light.
Yes.
That's the beauty
Yes.
of this, that it cannot be told, but it so much drama in the thinking of, I did that, like you did the
Yeah.
teachings or everything, or
Yeah.
anyway, in any kind of personal story, it inevitably it's a struggle, some one way or another, but it's
Yes.
not real. So discovering with it is a surprise, and it's I don't know, some people cry, but it's a wonderful surprise.
Yes, it is. It's an
Yeah.
empty, wonderful surprise because it's not for anyone, and it's just,
No.
so whatever appears, it could be crying, it could be like wow, or it could be like, oh, I guess this is it. This is really.
Yeah,
some
some
what?
just say, oh, okay, oh, okay. But
It's
I
like
don't
there's
know.
it's like there's this ongoing kind of like, it's almost like a brainwashed, kind of like, I am a me, hi, I am a me.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
are you? Are you a me? I'm a me. And all of a sudden, in
But there's
this,
no me who thinks there
it's
is
just,
a me. So
yeah, it's just an automatically kind of like, so when the spell is broken, you're like,
oh.
oh. it's just this programming that no one programmed. It's just this kind of like this brainwashing. It's kind of like, what
Yeah.
the hell?
What at the first I've begun to be a bit fearful is that at a few apparent months, is that, well, all the victims and all the, it's not true, and there was a kind of a urge, apparently, when this appeared in, I don't know, it's impossible to talk about it, even more in a second language, like I don't have a great, but so
You are doing beautifully.
you're
You
so
are.
kind. So so at the beginning, everything goes, so it's like everybody's story, it's not interesting, but God forbid that you tell somebody that is all, at the beginning. So it's like when it did that, I didn't, but it apparently came back in the world with some frightening or something, and then it's okay. But that's what I was meaning yesterday, that I don't like to interact a lot with people, because
That's just
they
what's
tell,
happening. Yeah.
yeah, I know, but they tell you story, they're not there, and they want you to tell their story too, and so it's like, yeah, it's schizophrenic in a certain way.
It is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
But it's just a dance.
yeah, it's a
just a
crazy dance. It's like
Yeah.
nothingness is a psychopath, is a kind a kind person, is a crazy dancer, a thief, everything.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. What is appearing is everything. It appears as
yeah,
whatever. Yeah. And that's why it's really radical, right? Because there's this perception, or there's this thing that what's being talked about is this holiness, but that's just a story.
yeah.
What when the story is broken, it's kind of like, oh, the fairy tale is gone. It's like it's
Yeah.
almost kinda like, what? That it can appear as a psychopath, as whatever, as a horror thing. It doesn't have to be all this blissful,
No,
story. Yeah, yeah.
But in a certain way, it's like, oh, poor psychopath. Because,
But it's just a story. It's not really there.
sorry, but it's not a real monster too, in a certain way. Oh my God, what am I talking about? But anyway, when I believe in God, I used to say God is fucking crazy, and I guess it's a kind of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Yeah, that was really radical. Awesome. Hooray. Um, yeah, what's being expressed is, that sometimes there's a focus on these beatific stuff. What's being expressed is unconditional love is everything. And unconditional love can appear as whatever. There's this radical acceptance of whatever seems to appear. So it could be, but no one's accepting it. So in the dream, for example, if there is a psychopath coming towards me, in the dream, this character would probably run away. I'm like, okay, sorry. That's also unconditionally happening, right? Or it's kind of like, you know what? It's not about this like, oh, this is unconditionally free already, that it can go into a lion cage. If the lion's hungry, it's going to eat you in the dream. Or the analogy that I make is that when there is a burning building, that the house is burning, you're not going to say that nothing is happening. There's no one here. Surely you're going to burn to the ground in the dream. Although there's no one choosing, what most likely going to happen is it's going to call the fire department and try to house down the house. But thank you for that, Ghislaine. Everything appears as everything, which is actually nothing. Is stories included? Yes, correct. Thank you. Oh, thank you. There's this message here. It's another testimonial. Thank you so much, Emerson, for the first video yesterday. That blanked me out. Thank you. I think you got railroaded by the boundless runaway train.
Can you talk about that again? The train.
Oh, the
train.
train.
The destination.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, sorry. Emerson, can you talk about the what you talked about yesterday? There's no yesterday, but the destination and people arrived at this destination, and it's like somebody says, "Oh, I'm not right. I'm not arrived yet." Can you talk about that? What you said, it was really good.
Sure, I can't really remember what I said yesterday because I don't have a memory, but I'll attempt. So apparently, what everybody's looking for is this destination called boundless freedom. Boundless freedom. So they go to this train, and all aboard. Boundless freedom. There are no stops. Every single stop is boundless freedom already. You don't need a ticket to get in. There are no passengers in boundless freedom. All aboard. I can't remember what I said. But everything is already, everybody seems to be looking for that destination. But what happens is they go to a train of thought. The train of thought, they board on that one. So they end up getting kind of like getting caught up in inquiry. Or there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's just a train of thought. But ultimately it crashes because it's nothing. They get into ideas about, different lifestyle. Maybe if I do this kind of living, maybe if I only eat this, maybe if I'll find liberation. But what's being expressed here that every single there's no location for boundless freedom. It's appearing as everything. So every single stop is already it. So there are no stops because this is infinite, boundless freedom. And there's no destination. There's no destination. Somebody will ask, well, I was at unconditional love, but now I want to get into unconditional freedom. It's the same thing. Thank you for that question. I can't repeat it. It's kind of funny. It just comes spontaneously. All of these talks, it's and I don't even have a memory to.
We'll listen to the one session.
Yeah.
A first session.
Thank you. Someone said here, I actually preferred the ringing bells of freedom. Oh no, I'm not gonna repeat that. There's a second video. You guys can watch it. Oh, this is gonna be a rerun. We don't do reruns because there's no such thing. Emerson, can you talk about the magical thinking of spirituality? Yes. There's nothing wrong or right about magical thinking of spirituality. Those are not my words. I'm not sure who said that, but the magical thinking is that that there is a destination, that there is something that I can do to get here. It's everything. It's always this. It's always this. So there's nothing wrong or right about that because clearing up your chakras or aligning your doing all of that is just what's happening too. So it's not about everything is an illusion, including that. But in the illusion, if that's what's happening, so be it. There's no one choosing to do and not do anything. It's not about doing something wrong. Everything is a magical thinking anyway. The only thing that's not magical thinking is deep sleep. Everything is. Although what's being expressed here is not in the magical thinking realm, right? It's basically an exposure that any of this does not really do anything. Because what is being expressed here is this directness, this immediacy. It's not about even dropping the me because there's no me to drop. That's just another magical thinking as well. It's not about having glimpses, because that's just another magical. It's the same thing as chakras, the same thing as whatever. Everything is this imaginary thinking on trying to get somewhere that does not exist in imagination. So what's being expressed here is not imaginable. So every imagined practice to get here, meditation, breath work, and everything, will just become this imaginary attainment of something. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's not throwing that away, but also kinda. Yeah. It's just this. Since there's no one choosing to do this or not do this anyway, it's just what's happening.
You know, the dream, the magical thinking. I forgot what I said. I forgot. My God. I don't believe it. Let me think. Oh yeah, I was like speaker talk about the loss, you know, and like, yeah, there's crying or laughing in the dream about those lost of dreams, of magical thinking, you know, of just, you know, like, I know this is a story, but you know, the loving story we loved, even if there's separation at the end or whatever happening or not happening, you know, there's still, you still love these stories, and this is a loss, you know, of all whatever you dreamed of. Yeah, this is part of it.
Seemingly what happens in this story, you know, there's a loss of everything that's believed and everything. I lost a lot of the superstitiousness of this character, the synchronicities that it really believed. Kind of like, you know, when 333 1111 hit in the clock, you know, that angels are watching over me. So all of these superstitious beliefs, or this something's good's going to happen, or kind of like, or reading my horoscope, that kind of thing, believing in that, those really subtle things that really weigh down, you know, it's a subtle way of reinforcing the character, or even going to a tarot card reader, kind of like to see what my future is. Nothing is wrong about that in the dream. It's just what's happening. But when this subtle, you know, seeing that doesn't really matter anymore, there's a lot of relief, and a lot of loss. So the loss actually is a relief. It's a relief, but that there's no one taking things really seriously now, because nothing is serious.
A relief and a release.
A relief and a release, yeah. And if somebody does like Reiki on me, you know what? That's fine. That's complete. It's just a dream. It's all right. It's not like, oh no, you know. But somehow this character's the only thing that's allergic to is magical thinking about a lot of spiritual mumbo jumbo and consciousness and awareness and that kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong or right about that again, right? Because I did that. This character did that for quite a while. I used to get a headache, a pounding headache, trying to get into awareness and consciousness, trying to like, am I in consciousness? Am I in awareness now? It's all that practice and everything. And there's nothing wrong or right about that. It's trying to catch the never stopping boundless freedom express train. I didn't know that that it was already running, that I didn't need a ticket, that I didn't need to get on it. It's always, everything always is. Then all of a sudden there's no Emerson, it's just a train. And there's no train. It's just this. Sorry, Ghislaine. Go ahead, please. I can't hear you.
This is
Go ahead.
In a certain way, you are lucky to have somebody to talk about all this wash up of everything. People love to dream, love these things that you just told, and when you say like, because I cannot once it's seen, you cannot just play around and say things, you don't believe in them anymore, even if there's no you, it's just a way of talking. But it's people, apparent people, they don't like it. So you have no purpose, you don't care. God is disappeared, the angels are disappeared, everything, it's everything. Personally, I feel great with that, okay? But most of, spirituality, they don't. And sometimes they keep the limitless, the unbound everything, but they keep also all the stories goes in the other world, after death and everything like that.
It's just seen, it's just seen as a play, right?
It's
just what's happening too. There seems to be I think the best compassion is when there is this expression that there's no one there. It's being compassionate to no one. So it's actually really kind.
But
so somebody's trying to do Reiki on me, there's this compassion that there's no one there. It's innocent. It's seeing everything as innocent. Even if I get a headache, with some stories about someone was talking to me about practices and stuff like that. I said, okay, that's just what's happening there. Although there's no one there. It's just seen and innocent. Kind of like how sometimes my nieces and nephew, try to do this TikTok dances that's annoying. It's just what's happening.
No, that's cute. But
it's just a play.
I had an invitation to go in the silent retreat, okay? So I just answered, well, the silence is everywhere. So, and the apparent person just tell, well, it's to talk, it's to stop talking about God. I didn't answer after that, but
that's also just innocence, you know what I'm saying? Innocence. It's all right. I'll probably buy a fart bag, you know what I'm saying, and fart once in a while, in a silent retreat just to make it funny.
Good idea.
I'll get kicked out and it'll be fun.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. This is Blast. I'm looking forward for the next 2 talks, although there's no next 2 talks. It's just what's happening. Thank you so much. We'll see you in about an hour. Is it an hour? Yeah, an hour. Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
There's a breakout room.
You, Emerson.
Oh, Kenny is here.
Emerson.
Kenny didn't even speak. I wanted Kenny to speak. Thank you, Emerson. Thank you. Bye. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Thank you.
There's a dualistic audience that's happening here. One in Zoom and one in...
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone.
Emerson.